making, but we still have more Counter-Strike to come. 2-0 is not quite sufficient if we just go back in time one day prior. Secret were also 2-0. And what exactly happened?
Oh, I think, wasn't that, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a reverse sweep, actually.
Exactly.
And you also saw the same thing where Secret got, you know, the 16-10 first, then an even more decisive 16-8, and then WINSTRIKE completely turned that around. But of course, in that case, it was WINSTRIKE turning it around. And this time, they don't even need to turn it around, although knife round is actually going to go into their favor. We see WINSTRIKE, they start it off well. They get the knife round, their second knife round so far in this best of 5. The first one on Mirage did actually go to HERETICS, but clearly, well, this might just be the start that WINSTRIKE need to actually make this a 3-0. Would be, well, a shame almost, you know, because I think we all really enjoy spectacular CS. But at the same time, it would just be very decisive from WINSTRIKE. It would be them really showing up, proving that they can do this, that they can make it this 3-0. But HERETICS are really, really going to have to just prove themselves and really show that they do have this in them.
I think nobody before this map actually started, apart from possibly the WINSTRIKE members, but I don't even think they would have imagined this to be a possible 3-0 in their favor. There's so little chances of them actually being able to destroy HERETICS, a team they've lost against twice in the previous weeks. Now we do see that A, or B execute rather, to come in. There's only one player sitting by from the WINSTRIKE side. Look at the pressure already coming down from short. A lot of players moving in, they come back with the EP2000, will drop the bomb, meaning they have the opening frag, yet they lose a member as well. Now we do see players in towards Gravity moving in as they will now be trying to clear things out all towards the side. There's a little bit of over-aggression from the WINSTRIKE members, not really knowing where their opponents are and trying to aggress it somewhere else. Now it's only a Lion alive in 1v3. There has been damage dealt on towards some of the members. They will be trying to double peek, and of course you can't really win that at that moment in time. The pistol goes in favor of HERETICS, but this may and should have possibly been a win for WINSTRIKE. Looking at they had the bomb control, they had some real pressure on towards the T side, yet they over-aggressed, really went for unfavorable fights, only to be punished relatively soon after.
I mean, it's understandable, you know, that if you do go for that over-aggression, that at some point you are going to, well, just get it thrown back into your face. They aren't going to tolerate that. So that's well played out by HERETICS there in the end, and that does mean that they now get this first pistol round. And maybe that will be the, actually, you know, the win that they need to start things off. However, at the same time, has to be said, right now HERETICS actually rebooting, having some internet issues. Of course, I think we all know that problem. I've heard some really dreadful tales, actually, about French internet now that I think about it. So
yeah, I wouldn't know.
Well,
because my internet is dope.
I know, don't worry.
It's straight up dope.
Dutch internet
listen,
also great.
This might be a physical, but also a metaphorical reboot for HERETICS, which might need it in that situation. Although I'm gonna go back to yesterday once more. We know that a best of 5 can be a very long adventure, and part of being able to win this best of 5 is to remain calm, even though you are facing, you know, the loss. If you were to compare that with a normal best of 3, would you give up when you're down 0-1? One map being, I mean, being one map away from losing? Obviously not, you wouldn't, because you realize you can still fight back. Well, this here, it's the exact same condition, only the road is a bit longer ahead of you, but you're still one map away. So as long as you don't lose the map, you're not out of the B of 5, you can still fight back. And I've said it, when it comes to the veto, I firmly believe that both Dust2 and Vertigo would go in HERETICS' favor if I had to pick a winner on these specific maps. So, Overpass might be really the do or die for HERETICS.
Sort of the in-between decider, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also a map that I have seen HERETICS play, and I know there are some flaws in their game style, and specifically on the CT side, I don't think they've quite mastered it completely. So it's still a gray area, but I very much trust in their Dust2 and Vertigo.
And the big problem is now for HERETICS. They've gone in towards the new map. They've had a moment to breathe and say, all right, guys, we're going to eventually destroy them. We just need to win this map. They win the pistol. There was joy all around the HERETICS camp. Yet then they disconnect, and that's going to slow them down. And WINSTRIKE, of course, also being slowed down.
Yeah.
But at least they now have time to possibly talk about a very juicy setup, maybe to go aggressive somewhere. Whereas HERETICS, they have to bide their time with 2 players currently not being in the server, not having internet either.
Yeah, I do think WINSTRIKE, you know, for them it could be indeed an opportunity for that. And it would be interesting to see as well if they do show up in that way, because that would also mean that, well, WINSTRIKE, they could have the potential for another, second round win. They might have to give off that pistol round, but we've seen it before now. We saw how it went like that kind of onto, well, the previous map. And now I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again. WINSTRIKE definitely has the potential. And then once again, I start to worry, for Heretics. I start to think, oh, but you did get your pistol round, but you didn't really convert much of it into more rounds, because that's always what you hope to see, that 3-0 basically coming in.
Yeah, well, it's mostly on the CT side that the economical reset that you have to go through is absolute hell. I think on the T side you can manage to get away with it, but you're right to mention it. WINSTRIKE have been absolutely fierce and deadly with their force buy. Usually it goes around Alliance Scout, and they just add a couple of Deagles here and there who hits their shot. Nickelback is a name that pops to mind when it comes to the Deagle. He's been very proficient with it, and there's always danger. And I do believe that on Nuke, that was the breaking point. I think WINSTRIKE being able to win that force buy when they're on the T side.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of a potential comeback, should I say, from Heretics. So hopefully they've learned from their mistake. Not that you really ever want to lose the force buy, so I'm not going to blame them too much. But I do believe that was the end of the dream. But now, a long game like that is also the ability to completely reset. And I can tell you that being a former professional, sometimes you know that there will need to be some discussions about what happened, but you have to just put it in a drawer in the back of your mind for the moment, because you're not about to debrief what you've done wrong in map 1 and 2. It doesn't matter at all. There's going to be a time and there's going to be a place to talk about what went wrong. Now you just need to give 100%. You give it all, and once you either lose or win, then you can discuss what needs to be discussed. But forget about it. This force buy basically didn't happen. That's how you should look at it. You should basically just club it out of your mind and focus on what's next.
Gonna be a little bit of a wait before the players will be ready. Often when someone disconnects, we have to reboot the round as well, just to get everything in place once more. Heretics winning the first pistol. That's something good for them. At least there is a chance they will be able to convert, but as Maniac highlighted many times, the force buys from WINSTRIKE are almost insane, almost unbelievable how strong they are. And with those Deagles and as well as Scout, there might just be a chance. For me, it depends on them not over-aggressing. Seeing if a Lion can add an opening frag. If he can, just play it out calmly. Try to play annoying angles that Heretics has to really commit on towards. Because if they don't, well, you just have another frag and you might just run away with things.
Yeah, usually on overpass, if you're Heretics, I guess the first point of contention and your first risk is basically Connector. Connector is the area where people will play with the Deagles, very short range. 2 shots to the belly will take you down, 1 in the head, obviously, with the Deagle. So that's one area of the map that you need to be careful, or rather wary of. B, water as well is risky, because 1 pop flash coming out of the bomb side, you can suddenly end up with a pincer move coming in from the door and the catwalk to take you down. So usually what people do is that they take control of the neutral areas on the A side. For example, you can take party control. Banana, or rather long, is also a place that with 1 good flash you can just push a Lion out of the angle and then grab that map control. But it's also quite risky, because we know, and we have seen many times, that WINSTRIKE love to go for that information. They love to grab it, push it, take the map control, and if so, would end up probably in their opponents behind. And we have the words that I love to hear in my ears right now. It looks like the team's already. This is music. It's like a chocolate cake for my ears. And we have it. The countdown has begun. The first hurdle for Heretics is to not lose the force buy.
I think, yeah, that's the solid point to focus on for them here. If that goes wrong, then I am looking ahead with fright and angst into my eyes for Heretics. But we'll see. Right now, it's going to be do or die. WINSTRIKE, they've got a little bit of utility to play with as well, but for the rest, it's going to be banking on those Deagles. A Lion tagged up a little bit, but Mac in the meantime, quite heavily damaged. Heretics, though, they do have, 4 rifles, a Mac 10 in the hands of Kiyoshima. So, this is plenty to work with. Now we'll see. Ooh, are they going to go for that aggressiveness?
They don't have a flash, so they shouldn't really. At least they're trying to gain some intel as Kiyoshima standing by with the Mac 10, getting the first frag on towards Lackey. This is an opener. There's still a slight stack on towards the side. It's coming in, another ding coming down on towards Nickelback, also to be contested as Prison now goes down. It seems as if this should be a pretty decent round on towards the B side. Cyphero will take it down, and Nickelback in due time after just losing his teammate. And this round should be done and dusted. Nothing really WINSTRIKE can do. And then, of course, they're already saving their Deagle in armor and even a Scout in armor for a Lion.
Yeah, understandable, really, that they go for the save here. Heretics already having the site completely in their hands. The bomb down now, and too many people lost by WINSTRIKE. I would say that... Nivera also takes out Bondic. That is a bit of a loss on their side. The very best Lion here can now either hope to maybe pick off one more player, or he can just keep his eyes wary to make sure that Scout definitely goes with him to the next round. And I say, with the bomb now exploding, Heretics grab their second round. They've overcome one of their obstacles, so to speak, on their course to perhaps at least winning this map.
Yeah, that looked better. That looked better from Heretics. It was very decisive. First of all, Kyo finding the kill. That was a fast flick I've ever seen one. But as I was saying, Kyoshima finding the first kill with the MAC-10 was the kill they needed, the can opener, and then the rest of the force coming out of Monster. Very well organized. Their spacing was good. There was absolutely no way for the Deagle to have any sort of impact. Good job by Heretics. It starts from here. You gotta take it one round at a time, sorry. Even though the road is very long ahead, just take it one round at a time.
It is, of course, key to win the round after such a lengthy pause. Having two of your players disconnect. Still, that Scout is there. There's also quite a fair few nades on towards the WINSTRIKE side. Someone will be expending one at a time. Is going to be lucky to be tagged up, but still getting the frag on towards the line. There's a big Scout out of the equation. And that's a waiting game. WINSTRIKE not really gambling on towards one side just yet, but with the utility flying towards A, they might just go for it in the end. Indeed, a third player will join his teammates as XMS is on towards the flowers. Trying to spot if there would be a player close by. It's going to be a slow and steady wins the race kind of situation for WINSTRIKE.
Patience. Just taking it slow. Taking your time, most importantly. Especially, of course, for the WINSTRIKE side, being on the CT side, they can always play out the time to their advantage, at least until that bomb plant comes in. And that time, we've seen it definitely be an issue for Heretics now in the last two maps, that they just wait far too long sometimes. But now, they seem to be going fast enough. XMS takes out Nickelback, and Maka now pushes ahead, should get this second frag. It's Nevire, actually, who helps him out there. Maka now checking out Bank, making sure that bins are clear too. Now we see utility in the hands of Lackey, but not really much more than that. He's going to come out. He tries to contest, but now he will probably already fall back here. No point in actually trying to fight this out. Oh, he's going to get pushed. And what? Lackey, hello there. Oh, that's a lovely Galil for him, though, out of that little exchange. But he doesn't expect Kyoshima to just show up right there. Fragged out and punished. 3-0 for Heretics, and yep, this is the solid start that you'd like to see from them on their third map and on sort of their final chance, really, to win out this best of 5.
It's looking better. It's looking better. Individually, we can see the shots are coming through. They have plenty of cash, which means that they are not at risk of a reset. Always a pillow, a good cushion to have in the back of your mind, knowing that you can take some risks. We'll see if that's the case in the calling. So far, it does look like they're about to go into a map control. The main force being towards Link. Might have been a flash coming out from Kyoshima to allow them to take B water control, or they'll use that force to take the bathroom position, we shall see. But the very standard 1-3-1 being played out. No sort of aggression coming out of WINSTRIKE, which is quite surprising to me. I was kind of hoping to see a Lion force the issue early on, but they will elect to play a bit more passively, a bit more reactively, and we'll see if that's the right move for WINSTRIKE.
Going to be a Lion sending by the AWP this time around, holding the angle towards toilets. An angle usually contested by the T-side members, as there will be some fire in towards the building itself. Flashbangs soon to come that would force a Lion slightly back. This is actually being smoked off and then flashed out. He will be standing with his teammates. There will be 3 men actually standing by on the WINSTRIKE side, just trying to pre-fire whatever they can through the smoke, yet no damage being dealt by either party just yet. The execute soon to come. And it's likely standing by with a counter flash of his own, as there is actually one of his teammates now pushing up with that flashbang as well. There might just be a peek to come in. It will be a frag on towards Lucky. But Nivera once more standing by for a refrag. It's back to a 4-on-4, but the Lion with the AWP gets one. Wants to go for more, but he's already dropped the bomb, so that is key. We have now a player to come from long as well. He should be faked out from the side player. It's going to be Lecky falling. Oh, a Lion, that's a very risky move to do. The next match will have a double kill of his own, leaving only Nickelback alive in a 1v2. It is, of course, doable, but with the HP still remaining on the Heretics members, these nades won't really deal all too much. Kiyoshima standing on towards the fire, and he's able to be the fireman in need and extinguish the flames himself.
That was close there for a moment, though. Kiyoshima really letting that Molly burn out, well, quite a bit. And now some serious damage on him, but Nickelback, is he actually going to try to clear this? Nope, doesn't look like it because Kiyoshima just frags him out. No chance. 4-0 for Heretics. The solid start that you want to see, and they keep it going.
Yeah, XMS finding these 2 kills was absolutely key in that round, and I do believe Elian doubted himself a little bit too much. He had a great position to punish the long player, but he thought he needed to change. And unfortunately for him, that was the absolute worst timing to give up with the angle, allowing XMS to make it a second open kill. Things look great for WINSTRIKE, but a good job by Heretics to climb back and to completely turn the table in that situation. 4-0 lead, the reaction that we were hoping to see coming out of the Frenchies, now in control money-wise, also quite decent. WINSTRIKE on a half buy, mini buy, however you want to name it.
Pistol armor.
Pistol armor, I guess, is the way to go about it. Speaking of this, Prison will try and roll with the Deagle. That's not going to be enough. Lucky finds the first kill. XMS leading the charge. A bit team flash for you. Hate to see it.
And now Nickelback here gets one frag, but rather swiftly refragged. XMS coming in. Now utility thrown onto the site by Heretics. Control going more and more in their favor. XMS checking towards heaven. Lackey, though, could become a nasty surprise for them depending on how the smoke plays out. But doesn't quite look like it. Zero tolerance from Maka. Headshot through the smoke. And that makes it only Bondik left alive. Not really much of a chance for him here. He's got that CZ. Maybe he could open one frag. Kiyoshima. Kiyoshima checks the angle, although Bondik still manages. It's going to be quick now because of the left water, indeed. Now Vera comes through and frags him out. 3v1 it was at the end, but not much of a chance left for Bondik, as now Heretics grab their 5th round, and they are really keeping it going.
Of course, we might just have yet another reverse sweep on our hands, as we did see WINSTRIKE bring it back against Secret yesterday. Heretics at least starting off strong on towards the map pick of their opponents, actually the second map pick of their opponents, after now being 2-0 down. There will be a buy from either party. Lion, however, not really having much utility to back up that AWP. And that might mean that later on they might be in towards trouble, as he's going for the aggression once more. Underpass, however, being contested more by Heretics rather than mid, as Maka is slowly peeking in. But not really doing all too much. This boost might just work wonders, but Nickelback not able to get a single kill for himself. Damage will be dealt, but XMS with a clean headshot to at least make it once more in favor of the Heretic side. Trying to get more, but Bondik, he'll have to fall back as well.
I can see the damage, though, on the Heretic side, and quite a bit more now coming in. Players are dropping on the WINSTRIKE side, but at the same time, Lucky goes down now. And XMS Kiyoshima, they are so close. A Lion, that's the kind of solid AWP play that you expect from him. He sees a player hop about, but doesn't get the frag just yet. That's an important shot. What? A Lion! What are you doing? You should have hit that first shot.
They both missed 2 shots, so you can't just blame it on the Lion. It was a very awkward scuffle as Maka now actually moves in and takes down Bondik as well. It's 1v3 for Kristen trying to move back towards that A side. No defuse kit, so he might just want to go for the aggression as the smoke just tumbles down a little bit too far down the stairs. Player now spotted on towards the side. The flashbang is too good from Maka. Next match with the last frag, 6-0 for Heretics. And that should have maybe been the round for WINSTRIKE to win, especially having those 2 kills come in from a Lion. Actually had a decent angle on towards Maka, but then a very awkward fight ensued.
Yeah, I don't think the scoreline really paints the story truthfully here. All these gun rounds have been absolutely painfully close for WINSTRIKE to lose, and there must be some frustration, some disappointment coming out of the squad. You do feel like Lion had the keys to the castle in that round. Unfortunately, he couldn't connect onto Maka, and then probably combined 50 HP on 3 players on the side of Heretics, but it was not mattering. The number game was in their favor. Kristen was not able to convert the 1v3, and with that, a decent lead now. Heretics slowly but surely. We can see individually they're winning the duels early on, and that's what's giving them so much space and what's giving them so many opportunities that they are finding kills left and right. WINSTRIKE are trying to fight, they are trying to battle in the first few seconds, and more often than not, they're losing the battle.
Look at the money as well. And towards the side of Heretics, there's actually 2 players already on towards the 10k mark. Some others have a little bit less. At least they can just rebuy if they do lose a round. And I'm not really thinking they might lose the next round, as we do see a pistol armor once more from WINSTRIKE. And this is something we've seen many of times be quite vital. The pressure on towards the CT side economy from, of course, the Ts. And Heretics is doing the work at this moment in time. Now, of course, having to group up, because quite often these pistols in 1v1s might be quite strong.
Yeah, we've seen pistol armors really go in favor of certain teams. You know, they have the talent for it, and sometimes I'd say maybe it's a bit of a case of luck as well, although you could look at it from several angles. Sometimes it's a player on the Heretic side, he could just drop the ball, or it's a player on the WINSTRIKE side getting some insane 1-digs. Let's see if this might happen this time round.
There's
Nivera,
four
though.
players. There's 4
Run
players that are going for a run boost, I dare to say, but not really.
Noise.
Where is that flashbang coming? Well, there isn't any. Nickelback goes down to Mac, and it's a good tap to come in, but Lackey will get in one return. Nivera still alive for the time being, but he's actually one of the 2 members alive for Heretics. And they just try to brute force it. You know their economy is terrible. But I think they were just expecting there to be possibly a scout on towards long. This was the able, or at least the way to go around it. Lackey on 1 HP, aligned now with the Deagles, trying to fight against the bomb carriers. Kyoshima has taken B control. That means a soon-to-be-planted bomb to come in.
Lackey does at least have that AWP, but I don't think he's going to even contest it at this point. That weapon is far too valuable to just leave for what it is. And you've got WINSTRIKE, have also definitely got to buy in the next round, seeing as they have a massive loss bonus. And now we do also see Heretics grabbing their 7th round. The strong start that you do very much love to see if you're a Heretics fan. And once again, the strong start that they're just maintaining, keeping. But it is so close every time. Yeah, I know, I was going to
say, listen, it's not clean, it's not pretty, but the difference between map 1, 2, and now this 3rd map is that Heretics are actually winning that extra 5%, that extra duel that they needed. Exactly what Nivera just did before getting into the door, winning the 1 duel they needed to convert the round, and so far they've been doing that every single time. It's not a 7-0 that reeks of control and domination.
No.
It's scrappy, but it's working. It doesn't matter.
It's the maintaining, you know, they're getting there in the end, but it's not dominating. Dominating is when you see Heretics getting clean round after clean round, when they just completely frag out WINSTRIKE. But that's not what we've been seeing. They have been, well, most of the time fragging them all out, but it takes a long time, and the result is that eventually after a fierce battle. So that also means, you know, you can see that Heretics, they don't have, well, insane reserves, although right now Kyoshima, XMS Maka, they are starting to get there. But it still could have been far more ridiculous. And Kyoshima, once again, good start by him. Takes out Bonded. Might go for the second, although...
But there's the boost coming down, I believe. There's still players on towards the boost as Lion now takes down Lucky, and Kyoshima, he does move away once more. He might be taken down. Lucky will be flashed in, but the smoke might just save Kyoshima for the time being, after being then taken out by Lucky through the smoke. Yet it is going to be Heretics trying to move towards A. There's no player standing by. A line moving through the dumpster position, will be flashed out, and even doesn't pull the trigger.
Team Flash.
Team Flash, the classic. We've seen it many of times so far.
Absolutely, you know, it's becoming almost a given. Oh, what's this gonna be?
He's too good to plan, so he actually just leaves it to one of his teammates, as it will be the 3-on-3 position. They're scared of course, toilets to come into play. A connector push from one of the CTs as Nivera standing by. Maka with a follow-up on towards Lackey. Nivera also taking down Nickelback, leaving only Kristen alive in 1v3. And this is yet another round where WINSTRIKE had a good shot at possibly winning it. Yet Heretics, this time around, were able to convert quite quickly towards the A side, be there in time to take down a line, and their utility was on point.
And I'd say that this is also one of the more cleaner rounds that we've seen from Heretics so far. You know, this is what you like to see. 3 people left alive, always a kind of key point that, you know, if you lose 2 people, usually you might have trouble buying again. If you have 3, you have plenty of weapons to play with. Of course, not the case in this situation, because Heretics already have so much money. But still, it's good to see. It means that Heretics is starting to, you know, really shape up now on this T side, really just starting to fine-tune their game, I think, is the right way to put it. And now, once again, 8th round for Heretics, and I see double digits coming up soon enough.
I mean, we see WINSTRIKE are trying to figure out solutions, right? This time it was through retaking B, water, and up until Alliance Team Flash, I think things were working quite well. They had that 4v3 advantage. They had the information that the push was going to be towards the A-bomb side, but then the Flash just destroys it. But no time to think. Heretics are picking up the pace. Prison is not blind, but somehow doesn't connect. He had the opportunity. The now completely blinded. It's going to get down by Nivera. Nickelback with the AWP in a very uncomfortable position. And a 5v4 now, and the B-bomb side has fallen. Make that a 5v3.
Just such dominance from Heretics, changing the pace, something I do love to see, because as you can see as well, WINSTRIKE were just not prepared for a rush to come down from Heretics. And of course, this is all due to confidence. If Heretics would have a very close match, they wouldn't have dared to go for an aggressive play like this. Yeah, they have the money, they have the rounds, and they have yet a stronger lead. 9-0 to come in as WINSTRIKE once more goes for the save. Of course, trying to hold on to that AWP and M4 and FAMAS. Which, well, of course, you could just run into FAMAS if we listen to our analyst.
Yeah, yeah, Lackey might be able to use the weapon well enough, and we'll see though how that might come and clutch in the next round. But right now, this is once again Heretics grabbing one. 9 for them, and clean. You know, there's a really clear trend of improvement here now.
Look at the money situation for Heretics now. Things are getting absolutely out of control. XMS is close to the maximum amount. We have Mac as well on 11,000. Kiyoshima close to that number 2. So they pretty much they could suck up at least 2 to 3 rounds and still be able to field a good buy coming in. So for WINSTRIKE, this is clearly Counter-Strike in the hardest level right now.
But like usually also you see those kind of amounts really at almost the end of the first half, but now we're still around 10, so it's getting close to the end, but we're not all the way there. And that's also a bit of an indicator. You know, that also shows that WINSTRIKE are really not bringing the
Going
best
for a rush again. This time, however, will be Utility coming down. A very good nade and a very good spray from Grison. Nickelback refrag brings it back into a very favorable position. With Lackey also to come in, only Mac alive with the AWP just runs through like a madman. And from the smoke, he'll be facing off against Nickelback. That's a triple kill for him. And Heretics now having to spend the money in towards rifles rather than to buy a house together.
I guarantee you that this call from Heretics is a consequence of them feeling like they completely have their foot on their opponent's head, and they want to keep them down and they want to maintain the pressure, even though tactically speaking that might not be the best call ever. Whenever you feel like you have the upper hand individually, you can feel that your opponent is out of breath. Don't give them time to wake up. Just apply that pressure going in. Good job by WINSTRIKE to be able to control the situation, handle it a little bit. It's going to give them some breathing room, but Heretics, they do feel in control right now.
Understandably, really, with such a massive advantage, I think you would feel in control for less, so to speak. But now it's back to equal fighting ground. Lion, though, good start, takes out XMS. And maybe this could be the WINSTRIKE comeback show if they keep this up now. The Lion here also boosted up. They might not anticipate this. They shouldn't, I think. And indeed, you see Maka, I believe he missed his shot there. And that's now the 5v3.
Actually, the bomb is already gone towards the A side. It's soon to be planted.
Wait,
it was the boost coming down from a line, but he was not holding down the toilets area, and the player just sneaked past. And of course, it's none other than Nivera himself. He might be hearing this player to move in towards A. There's actually an over-rotate almost coming in from WINSTRIKE. 4 players moving towards his side, and Nivera is the sole member from Heretics. If he gets a frag, he wants to go towards B, and they're actually all going via dumpster. This is the dream for Heretics, and now they're just biding their time. 2 players from Monster, 1 actually from Heaven. You wouldn't imagine it. You could only dream. As Nivera is slowly moving up towards Grafty, expecting to be easier to convert on towards the side. With now Bomdex still jumping around. This will be a 3-on-2 with a flank and a pincer and a half. This is going to be the first frag. He's looking for the second. He actually gets a line of... Oh, no! He can't make it work! Grison takes a frag as he stands anti-flash and spots the player. Kiyoshima takes out 1, but the nade comes in on towards Lucky. It's Kiyoshima in the 1v4, and he will die as well. Oh, Grison standing, looking at the wrong moment, you dare to say, but it's just that anti-flash coming in just to destroy the dreams of Heretics.
Nivera had done everything correctly from the beginning of the action up until the point where he misses the shots. He had done everything correctly, all the right decisions, letting the opponents pass him by, calling his teammates to join them on the B-bomb side. He had done everything, even trying to go for the double kill. Oh my god, that hurts me so much.
Oh, well, the panic, just a miss, really. Yeah, the words escape me right now. Nivera, they're just really not coming in clutch like you would have expected him to. And with that now, that does mean WINSTRIKE in their second round in. Kiyoshima, though, he opens it up, as he does very strongly. Taken out. Lucky going down, though, as a bit of a trade-up here by the connector area.
Bondik is just a man you can't stop at this moment in time, and Kristen, he's not really feeling himself at this moment. A 4-11 scoreline. Look at Bondik. He says, I get a frag. I also get connector to play with, and he's moving around. If he goes towards A, or at least towards mid, he might take down the AWP and bump on towards Maka, who's now actually holding his former position. Bondik is sneaking up. There's two players also towards long, and Bondik, he might just have this in the bag as Kiyoshima takes on Lackey, but there is the bomb. There is yet another opener for the WINSTRIKE team. It is even numbers, but still, time is now being wasted, and they don't know where Bondik is. Bondik actually moving towards playground, holding the angle towards the stairs. There will be a player moving in as Nivera goes down to Nickelback Lion, also taking some toilets control. Bondik indeed taking down Kiyoshima, leaving only XMS alive. This might just be a little bit of a comeback coming in, as Lion will, or should soon spot XMS, and he will. And he might not survive it, as there will be the spray coming down from the AK player. He will actually get a kill. 20 seconds left, and now just a 1v2. He's trying to move towards B, but Bondik has gone back to his former position. Is currently in towards Underpass, and he gets the spray down as XMS stops to run. And it will be 9-3. WINSTRIKE slowly working their way in towards this map.
Yeah, this time around we saw Nickelback punishing Nivera's, I don't want, not really a flank, not really a lurk, more like a timing that he was trying to find from A-long. We see here Bondik as well being an absolute nuisance for his opponents. He got scared just a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's got a bit uncomfortable, even though the timer was already completely in WINSTRIKE's favor. But they are fighting back. Third round for the CIS team. They now have all the weapons and utilities they could ever dream of. Bondik will be posting up towards the door, being help for his AWP in bathroom. Pulling back quite fast, though.
Yeah. Just rapid indeed. Nickelback here. Good flash to support him, you'd say, but Kiyoshima does frag him out still at the end. Krisen now does come in with that refrag, and that's the 4v4. But that fight, I would have really expected Kiyoshima to just come down there. Bondik, though, luckily he comes in, can take out Maka through the smoke, no less.
But why does Maka actually want to sneak through the smoke? You don't know where the pressure is, as Nivera now also pushes through toilets. The Lion will be standing by. Great flick all towards XMS as well. He's insane! I don't think his wrist will be working after this match, because he must have broke it to move that quickly. Only Lucky alive in 1v3 has the bump, is moving towards B. And, well, there's a player standing by, is going to be Krisen, in towards Gravity. He's trying to do a little bit of a jump peek. He might as well just give the bomb plant to his opponents and then go for the retake after, as once more there will be a very good chance for WINSTRIKE to win the round. Lucky trying to spot out possibly a player in towards his Wallery area. There will be Krisen still standing by here at Gravity, and he should get a frag right about now. He misses the initial shots, but will be able to get the re-peek done. 9-4. Heretics still way in the lead, but now they're not really having too much money. They have to go for a pistol armor, possibly.
Oh, that will definitely feel like a bit of a nasty experience to go through for Heretics, especially with how financially confident they were, and indeed, you can see now those deagles being involved. Nivera here as well. He went for a good, re-peek there, but aligned then in the meantime. That flick was still, I could barely see it. It just happened. It was just there. And Krisen finishing it off in the end. But this is going to feel just bad for Heretics. They've just had so much financial prowess, so much confidence, and it's all gone now.
Lion just being able to move away in time as he was being pressured as well from Playground. Utility to be expanded by the WINSTRIKE members, but look at this. 2 players actually in towards Connector. First one, Bondic will
what?
almost kill
Bondic!
the Lion. The classic, expecting the players to move through, and he will actually make do with a kill on towards XMS. Also on towards Lucky, and now we have a 5-on-2. I think we've all been there. I think Maniac has had it as well during his career.
You know, it's so nice how quickly he destroyed the Lion. He
Yeah.
was
It was
so
a
fast
dink.
with the snap. He absolutely
He's
destroyed
saying
him.
a Lion can flick. Oh, baby, I can do it too. But how is Nivera once more in the back of WINSTRIKE?
Invisible cape. It's the only explanation.
The invisibility cloak. He got it. Oh my god, Nivera. Oh, those were 2 dirty 1Ds. But at the end, you know, there does have to be WINSTRIKE actually taking the upper hand. And yes.
Bondic actually farming an assist there as well. On towards the Lion.
Yeah, no, I saw it. But like, I found it really funny how like, okay, he messes up, and you can see it here in the replay. 1 and 2. Oh wait, no, that's not the right person.
That was so extremely fast, but he did not let that get to himself and still adjust the
That's
other
the
2 kills.
point.
That was pretty nice.
He still really just got a solid
The
triple.
aim is on point, definitely.
Definitely. Anyhow, though, Nivera 1, 2, but 3 isn't there. As Nickelback comes out of long. And that makes the last round now of the first half. WINSTRIKE convincingly coming back now, but they still got a 4-round deficit. And they're facing off against the final buy of Heretics. They've gotten all those AKs, gotten an AWP, utility, everything that they might want. So now it's a chance for them to either reach the double digits, or it's a chance for WINSTRIKE to go for that 6th round and make it only a 3-round deficit.
The Lion has now gone to half HP at the start of the round, most likely to be thrown in by a nade, but now Lecky is in towards Underpass, gets a double kill. Looking at Bondic, saying, I won't shoot you as long as you won't shoot me, and that's actually already a triple. Then he over-aggresses, as well as the Lion. 2 players falling in favor of Heretics, but Bondic still playing around, and he's on fire, his aim on point. Leaving only Kiyoshima alive in 1v3. Bomb control in towards Underpass, and look at the push coming down from WINSTRIKE. 2 players coming from that A-long position. As we do now have Kiyoshima getting 1 on towards Bondic, but he wouldn't be expecting Nickelback to be there as well. As Krisen is in that Underpass, moved past the bomb, and now they should hear and know that Kiyoshima is currently in this Underpass position. Smokes to be popped by either party, and look at the time already ticking down. Even if he does get the bomb, I'm not really sure he has the time to move back, and now also with a incendiary to be thrown out. Possibly it will be yet another round for WINSTRIKE, finishing the half at a 9-6, and that is going to be great because they were 9-0 behind at a certain point. Kishima moves in, he will go down to Krisen, and this is solid from the WINSTRIKE members.
Yeah, I mean, the story is pretty clear if you're looking at the tab right here. 9 little yellow dots followed by 6 blue dots. The comeback coming out of WINSTRIKE, and we had mentioned it. The finances for Heretics were absolutely out of control. All these rounds that WINSTRIKE won were hard-fought, hard rounds. No anti-eco. I believe there was, what, 1 round with only augmented pistols and a couple of armors. The rest was full-on weapon bias all the way. So WINSTRIKE, they truly had to fight for it. I'm still going to say, though, that 9-0 scoreline for Heretics, some of these rounds were absolutely close. Super. Maybe 2 of them were really close.
Yeah, I think especially in the beginning, towards the end, you started seeing Heretics actually playing cleaner rounds. I believe also one of their last rounds actually in that streak was just a completely clean route. They had everyone surviving, but then the next round it was completely turned around as WINSTRIKE then started getting their wins in. So I feel like Heretics they definitely fought hard for it and they got the results, but it could have gone smoother, I think, and maybe if it had gone smoother, things would have been a bit more on point, and they could have actually made this an even bigger lead.
So how do we feel? Do we feel a comeback? Do we think
it depends on the
map
pistol.
4?
I think if WINSTRIKE wins the pistol and they start getting momentum, they could put down the same streak as Heretics as long as they mess up the economy of the CT side. And that's going to be key. If they manage that economy well and Nivera just doesn't pop off again, there might be a chance.
I think you're definitely right. The pistol round is going to be the solid indicator. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted there because I thought I could smell food. I think I'm actually...
We can definitely smell food. We've been smelling food for a good 10 minutes. That is definitely the case.
His nose is just a little bit of lag.
It's okay. I'm all
my
good.
eyes are bad. My nose is bad. You know.
Right now we have a food for thought with Counter-Strike, so that's all my heart needs. For now, at least, let's talk about it in 10 minutes. But the comeback. I still name it a comeback from WINSTRIKE has been achieved. They put 6 rounds on the board, moving now to their T side. And it's been a while since I saw them play or really analyze them on the T side of Overpass. They hadn't really convinced me the last time, so I could be wrong. I thought their CT side was definitely their best weapon on that map. So for Heretics, there's still plenty of opportunity to close this third map and push us towards map number 4, which would be Dust 2, if memory serves.
Yes.
Yes. Dust 2, that dusty old map. Part of the classics in my eyes. And interesting, especially aim-wise. I think that could be a map that really, well, in a way, would be in WINSTRIKE's favor. And they've got the better win rate, to be fair.
Ooh, Lion takes down XMS already with the P250 once more, being the raid boss for his team. And this is going to be painful for Heretics, because, well, they need to win this to at least get to double digits, have some room to work with the moment they have to go on an eco, because the CT side, more expensive. And I think they will feel that pain in just a few minutes, as Kiyoshima actually has water control, and there will be players on towards Monster. They won't most likely be checking this. There will be, however, players coming down from Underpass, and there's still someone holding Nickelback with the Glock in towards Underpass, trying to hold down this rotate. He will be tagged up, as well as Kiyoshima still trying to fight 3 players there. Nickelback gets 1 before being traded out by Nivera. A 4-on-3, but the bomb is already being planted by the WINSTRIKE side. And the rotate, and of course a retake coming in from WINSTRIKE. 1 player towards long, going down to Kristen, and the other 2 coming from short. And Nivera has boosted, but still it's a 2-on-4, and they don't have a defuse kit. So I'm not really feeling their chances.
No, not quite an Lion. He's got a nasty angle, actually, for that P250, but then Lackey. Prison comes in from the back, and indeed, pistol round goes to WINSTRIKE. And maybe, just maybe, this is the start that they needed on that second half. You can definitely see a comeback happening here. Or, well, continuing is perhaps the better way to put it.
Might possibly be the case. I'm really liking the game sense coming out of WINSTRIKE, analyzing the situation, planting for heaven, realizing that most of the remaining CTs would be coming from either Monster or that door area. So didn't really matter the kills. They already had the bomb planted, they had the situation, they had the setup, they had everything under lockdown. Good round coming out of WINSTRIKE. The shots as well will always help. Nickelback did a good job refraining the push. Speaking of push, all the X from WINSTRIKE's basket are towards the B bomb side, and we already have a CT towards Fountain, so this could get dicey.
Ooh. But I think this is something we've seen before with WINSTRIKE. They play very slow on towards the T side and actually make some mistakes for their own. Double kill with the swag. 7 styling upon his opponents. Might get a triple, but it will be aligned with 1 refrag. Yet we do now also see the pressure coming down on towards water. There's 1 player standing by. More love taps coming down because there's so much love on WINSTRIKE, yet they might lose this round. A 2-on-3. AK's in their hands, and from short there will be a push. Nivera takes down the line. Lackey now in it 1v1 as he takes out XMS, and he knows Nivera was from short. They're playing a smart game, and Lackey, he gets a clutch, 1 HP and a dream. And now a 9-8 scoreline. Heretics force on towards an eco, and this will most likely be the equalizer.
Oh, but that was insane there. You were almost certain that Lackey was already lost there when he was the last man standing in the 1v2, but he just pulls it off. And that is incredibly strong by him. And especially when you saw this at the start, it's done now, you know. Maka double kill, 2 for 1 even, I believe that was. And then the Lion, he just shows up, tags his teammate a little bit, no problem.
Just to make sure he's awake.
Yeah,
like, hey, come on now, you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up, but WINSTRIKE somehow, I think Lackey pretty much saved them from the hardest reset that there could possibly be now. Heretics only with augmented pistols. There's a couple of deagles on Maka and XMS. I believe P250 is on Lucky, and then it's USPs all across the board. So WINSTRIKE definitely in the lead. Maka will try and connect, but not able to adjust. Nickelback with that Mac 10 for about 50 kilometers away from his target. It's not going to help so much.
Oh, but there's so many players actually in towards Toilets as Bombnik takes down Nivera. This is a very good nade on towards Kiyoshima and XMS. Ready to come in. Nickelback actually converting on towards 1. And then there's, of course, a refrag to come in. XMS still standing in the Toilets, having bomb control, but he runs out. Will go down to a line. And now we have the equal score. Heretics, after being 9-0 up, have now lost 9 rounds in a row themselves, and that doesn't really bode well for them. But as you could see in their force buy and the eco to come, they might be banking on a double AWP setup. Nivera already picking up 1, and then we will be Maka most likely with a 2nd, but they're doubting. They're saying we need some maneuverability because WINSTRIKE on their T side usually gives a lot of room to work with, and thus Maka will go for that M4, trying to play possibly a more aggressive role for himself.
Yeah, and I have to say though, this is painting a worrying picture. You know, I put in on Heretics as well on Vi.gg, and oof, I'm starting to doubt myself. You know, I had so much confidence in Heretics. Prison, that is relentless spray through the smoke, but not much damage is going to come from it, except a little bit on Maka if I see it correctly. But WINSTRIKE now, they've managed to level the playing field. We're getting into the last 10 rounds or so of this map, potentially. And WINSTRIKE, they must be able to taste that victory. They know, for them, it can all be over in 7 rounds. They can just get this done. But for Heretics, the pressure is really onto them. It's going to depend on players like this, you know, it's going to depend on players like XMS coming in clutch, but will they actually be able to do that? He's got the sound cue. And we see Lackey. Ooh, will he expect the boost though?
Boost utility coming in the flashbang as well from the Heretic side. XMS with a double kill, also a very good tag on towards Nickelback, and he's able to respond. AWP still on towards the A side. Nivera has to come in huge. Of course, he already gets some support from the rest of his team. Incendiaries to be thrown out from either party, trying to slow things down. And look at the time, 30 seconds. WINSTRIKE always being slow now, losing the bomb control as well. As Nivera takes down Nickelback, and that's going to be rather sloppy and quite inconvenient. Lucky standing close towards the toilet. It's a position they often do go for a pre-fire wallbang. But we do now see WINSTRIKE actually going for the save. With these 2 AKs, if they do save him, they have enough to buy. Lucky can buy himself. Kristen, of course, can't really drop too much, but there will be Bombek able to drop an AK, as he does, of course, still holds on to some utility. And Lucky, you might just walk into a crosshair, and he will, going down to Kristen.
Bondik here is going to just survive. They're not going to be able to push that right in time. And indeed, just a little bit of damage on Heretics extra on top there at the end with that exit frag. But now Heretics, though, they do reach those double digits. And of course, you know, if you're a Heretics fan, you love to see it. XMS here, peeking in at just the right time. Gets a guaranteed double kill out of it, and serious damage on Nickelback, who did manage to refrag him on the end.
I love how you saw Nickelback actually not really responding that quickly, not really understanding what was happening, as of course you wouldn't expect 2 of your teammates to be completely flashed. You'd expect 1 to be anti-flash, as Nivera, he goes rather aggressive with the AWP. It sometimes works, but he went so slow, and that meant the line already had the angle. Now has the frag on this. Well, we shouldn't call it a force buy from WINSTRIKE, yet it is going to be them buying around the rifles they saved. Go for, well, possibly a round in return, and they reset on towards the economy of Heretics. They don't really have the funds. Kiyoshima and Nivera, they do have some reserves, but look at that on XMS and Mecha. $0 for themselves. Lucky on towards 300, and already some extra damage to be dealt.
Look at T-Spawn. Look at T-Spawn. This might be a 4v5, but Heretics have taken the entire map. The flank is coming in from behind. It's only a matter of time. And then we have it, some utilities being used by Heretics just to slow them down. XMS, look, all they have to do is stay alive. XMS using the flash, not going to be enough. Kristen will take him out. And then the flank is suddenly becoming absolutely useless. Oh no, they had everything they needed.
There's a player in the underpass that might just come in clutch later on, as there will now be the plant as well coming down. It's not being cancelled. And it will be Kiyoshima taking the player in underpass, but now they know. Bondik, he actually goes down, and Kristen as well as Bacchus moving up 3-on-3, and they should have known possibly on the WINSTRIKE side. But then again, they're leaving so much room for Heretics to play with, and it's happened before. Nickelback taking down Lucky. Now they can only focus towards toilets, and there's a player moving in the back as well in towards toilets. However, Nickelback goes down. Lucky with a spray down, gets 1 by the line with the last frag to come in, but this could have been, and I dare to say should have been, the round for Heretics, having those 2 players come in the flank.
That was an insanely damaging round as well for WINSTRIKE. You know, they got the result in the end, but Heretics there with that flank. I feel like if that flank had perhaps been just a little bit faster, you know, you could really see WINSTRIKE eventually just pushing onto the site, and they threw the speed into it. And with that, you did see that Heretics kind of got caught out with their flank. It fell through a little bit. So I do wonder if it had gone differently, you know, if that could have actually been the decisive Heretics win. But in the end, it was close. And it was WINSTRIKE taking the upper hand. Now we see Heretics forced onto a almost a eco, pistols, and a little bit of, armor on Kiyoshima.
Just to touch on this flank situation as we have the
yeah,
round
of course.
happening in front of us, it's really a predicament in which XMS and Lucky find themselves, because on one hand, if they play completely passively and wait for the flank to happen, they're going to allow their opponent to take a lot of map control quickly, which means ultimately that the T side will attack the bomb side faster. So you kind of have to walk this very dangerous line where you put some pressure on your opponent, you throw some utilities, you fight them a little bit, and then you stay alive. We saw XMS trying to do that. He was utilizing Lucky's flash to peek bathroom. And then obviously when he falls, all we can say is, oh, now the flank is useless. But it's a very, very thin line that you're walking on.
There was one frag coming in from Naivara, yet he's lost himself and most of his team. Only Kyo alive in 1v4. And, well, on the T side, Kyo is a lurker, most often being found in a flank somewhere around. Also on the CT side, you saw it in the previous round, aggressing towards T-spawn. And this time WINSTRIKE, again taking a lot of time, will go towards A. Kyoshima will be happy to save his Deagle and armor, because of course it would save him some money in the next round, being able to buy more utility. And of course he might want to upgrade to an AK if he could. And lucky, he has been killed on towards that mid area. There is a player standing by. Nickelback will try to hold on towards the rifle if they haven't already thrown it over one of those walls, trying to get it out of the hands of a possible CT later on.
And we'll see now, Kyoshima won't be finding a rifle like that then. Deagle in hand, but should be having an engagement soon enough here. If he does spot out a player and he's waiting. He knows, oh, he sees someone there, but he gets tagged up himself. And now you do see the full force of WINSTRIKE in pursuit. You can see all those dots going behind him, and they're going to try and go for that pincer movement, but I believe he should be able to survive this.
There's no reason to over-aggress, because you might give him an AK rather than just give him Deagle and armor. Well, I wouldn't care about him player saving Deagle and armor in this situation, because you know they're going to buy in the next round regardless.
And indeed with that, we also see that buy coming in now. But once again, also seeing this replay here coming in. Very solid spray down from Bonding. Got 2 frags out of it with Nickelback supporting him in the back. And now WINSTRIKE on their 11th round. It's close.
In the lead. WINSTRIKE is in the lead.
Yeah, they are.
They're down 0-9 at the beginning of this very map.
It's a super strong performance by them, but they've still got a bit of a ways to go. And Heretics, they should be feeling the pressure, but it's starting to get into that dangerous territory as well of, you know, rounds becoming closer and closer, and if you lose the one round, you might actually guarantee to lose the next. It's the case now as well for Heretics, you know. Oh, that's some solid nade damage. I mean, look at the financials. It's only Kyoshima who's managed to preserve a bit of money, but for the rest of Heretics now lose this round, there's a pretty solid chance that they'll lose the next as well.
The first wave of utility flying towards the B side, trying to bait out whatever Heretics might have. They still have some flashes, some nades now to fly out, as there might be a boost coming down, as Mecha will be putting one of his teammates towards higher ground. They're trying to spray Lucky, trying to find out most likely the player close on water, yet they can't hit their mark. Now the second wave of utility flies in. Now there will be more aggression. Lucky will be tagged up slightly. Still he's alive, and more utility to be flown out. Mecha going aggressive, gets 1 frag in return for himself, as Kristen has been dinged as well. They're slowly inching on towards the side, but they're facing so much opposition. Good as well from Heretics. Oh, Nickelback takes down Mecha. There will be a player currently in underpass. Slowly going for that flank, and as Kyoshima takes out Kristen, there might just be a chance. Kyoshima goes down. Nickelback is waiting for the player to shoot all his ammo away and then go for the aggressive peek. The player on short has now arrived. Lucky takes down a Lion. He was actually the player looking towards short, and Nickelback, I think he disconnected or something. It's a 2-on-2, and they're still waiting as Bomnik is playing around the pillar, trying to dance it out before his teammate moves in. But they both die at the same moment in time, and Heretics now with the equalizer once more, having a chance to possibly gain the lead straight after.
But I thought that Nickelback would have had that. He had the audio cues, and I mean, he should have been like sort of guesstimating the bullets. Like he must have heard, okay, that M4 that's been spraying for quite a while now. You know, he's probably going to be out of ammo. But then he just decided to kind of sit there in the smoke, and he didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah, the problem was that I can understand how he would play it so passively if his teammate was absolutely safe and would also play the time, right? You have Bondi that's actually ready to fight from the pillar position. So if you're a Nickelback, you actually have to help your teammate. You have to make a difference early on in the clutch. You cannot just wait the chicken game in the smoke. So, you know, questionable decision, even though he started pretty well through the smoke. That's my point. Bondik was actually in no position to hide. He needed to fight. So there should have been a communication between them where Nickelback just tries and have some impact. And obviously we know, because we have the X-ray.
Yeah,
we know he could have had that impact. But, you know, communication must have been a bit better in that situation.
But also due to Nickelback setting in the smoke, that also gave, I believe, Lucky the position to push through, sit on towards the box, kill a Lion. And actually, he had so much impact that the round already went in favor of Heretics from that point onwards. But look at this. Lucky's moving up. There's 2 players standing by here. And actually, he takes down the AWP. There's still one closer, however. And Nickelback is not taking down XMS because he doesn't know. And this might be the trigger discipline round of the century. He's seeing 1. He's seeing 2. He gets a first frag, gets a second as well. But there's still a player in towards Zoids. He knows. But a Lion with the AWP is just a little bit too quick. Still, it's back to a 3-on-3, and this might just be a chance for Heretics to take that lead as WINSTRIKE. They're still in it to win it, but they don't really have the utility to back it up. 1 smoke on towards Bondik, 1 on towards the Lion, and they still have to get that planted, but at least they're lucky there won't be a flank coming anytime soon.
Yeah, they can at least cover off, you know, probably Bins and Bank, I expect. Indeed, you see that 1 smoke coming in. Krisen pushes up now. He's going to plant it. They're holding off from their back. Oh, Maka here, though.
That's a pretty smoke. He actually can't really move through.
No.
He might have expected it to be a little bit easier to get an angle towards the truck position. But now we have an after plant. As I said before, no flank to come in. And then with 2 players in towards Soilers, 1 actually on towards Long, there's nothing much Heretics should be able to do. They have 1 flashbang. That's all they have. They now expand it, and there will be another frag for a Lion. They're tapping the bomb, of course. That will be followed by a peek to come in, but look at the pressure on towards Soilers. They're not holding it off. The Lion with a wallbang on towards Lucky. And that's a 4K from a Lion, and what a star player he is once more. 23 frags already in his favor, and now the lead once more for the T side.
Stellar job by Elion, but I'm still going to mention the lack of smoke for Heretics was absolutely detrimental in that clutch. I think the A bomb site clutch on overpass is the most smoke-dependent clutch you could ever have. As soon as you deploy that smoke, you can be in so many different positions hitting the bomb that you will make all of your opponents panic with Elion with the incredible flicks. And he's been doing that in the entire series, I feel like.
No, absolutely. Elion, he is that star player, you know, give that man an AWP and he'll rock your world. And so far, he has definitely been doing that, and it's lovely to see. And this also now forces the Heretic side onto pretty much an eco. It's 1 bit of armor, you know, there's maybe 1 upgraded pistol here or there, but that's about it. So this is one of those rounds, as I mentioned earlier, you know, where you can probably see, okay, it's not only the first round that they win, but also win the second round because the follow-up round is so, well, it's just a bad economy. Lovely boost position here coming in, but that's not where WINSTRIKE is going.
Say what now?
I know.
Well,
it's almost like I can read the minimap.
They might just go for a little bit of a rotate later on, as of course they might know from the utility popping across the map that WINSTRIKE will be tempted to go towards A. And now we do indeed see that full rotate come down. 1 player in toilets, 3 players now going towards that A side, and WINSTRIKE, their again playing is slow. Of course, they don't know what we can see. Of course, they don't know that WINSTRIKE was stacking on towards a boost, looking at B water. And now the execute will come in, and the pistols, they're close by, and that is the range where they do exceed. It's going to be like in the first frag, going for a second, but the USP gets 1 in return. It's actually the weakest pistol they have, but it works out. XMS stacked up, and Kiyoshima in the smoke, trying to play in Nickelback. It's going to be Kristen taking down Maka. Nickelback going even further, leaving only Kiyo alive. I think Sintoy is trying to deal some damage. He will actually not get a single kill on towards Krisen. Meaning we now have a 13-11. Heretics can buy again, but still, it's a terrible situation to be in.
Yeah, and besides making it the 13th round for WINSTRIKE, I think it was also important to make it clean. To have that money in the back, to not be threatened by the reset that could have happened if it had been a tight round. I feel like Kiyoshima could have connected on to his opponent. Wasn't meant to be 13-11. And now WINSTRIKE, 3 rounds away from winning the grand final.
It's insane, and it's getting closer and closer now. Once again, you see Heretics, they've expanded all their supplies. They've gone through all their financials, and it is mighty, mighty close. Now Utility's flying in. I believe, you know, if WINSTRIKE now wins this round, Krisen, that is nasty. Bondik comes in, and indeed, Krisen does get refragged, though. It's a 3v3. Heavy damage on a line as well. Of course, a line that AWP player. Bomb plant going down now. A line. XMS goes down. Bondik here taking up that water position. It's already an after plant now for WINSTRIKE, so they can play this out patiently now. But Lucky here, Depending on how the smoke dissipates, it's either going to be, oh, Lucky's going to look away at the wrong time, isn't
Yeah,
he?
but there's still a player on towards Heaven. Nivera's not moving as Lucky might have some good timing, but
Oh.
Lucky's always standing by. And he gets yet another frag of his own, leaving Nivera only to save most likely as he spots out the AWP player of a Lion. But he can't really phase it. Well, they both missed yet another shot, but look at the chase already coming down from Lucky. He wants to take away that AWP. It will be a 14th round coming in favor of WINSTRIKE. Nivera at least with one exit frag, but look on towards the side. There's yet another player.
Oh,
Oh,
Nivera.
Nivera, that's juicy. But you're now 3 rounds behind. You don't have the money to have a very good buy for yourself. Whereas, as Maniac said before,
The clean round.
saving that clean round almost on towards that pistol armor is going to be meaning that they can buy those AKs. They can have everything they need, everything they want, and we might be looking at a Frio shutout.
Yeah, the bold call coming out of WINSTRIKE's IGL, the B rush that pans out, 2 quick kills being found, the entry kills they needed. And then I don't know if you are old enough to remember Leroy Jenkins from World of Warcraft,
yes,
but
yes.
XMS did a full Leroy Jenkins to that smoke.
Leroy
He went full Leroy.
Jenkins.
I almost bursted out of laughter to see him cross that smoke and the Lion to punish him. Speaking of the devil, again another entry kill from a Lion. This man, if WINSTRIKE were to win this game, would be my MVP undisputed.
But it was actually a massive wow. I like still actually am, you know, back in the... I played it really
Oh,
early.
right.
I played it when I was like 10 or something. Like
I might have had
Whoa.
a Tauren Warrior.
Oh, nice, nice. Crizzen, though, that's also very nice. That is Maka fragged out, and now it's a 5v3, and things are just not looking good. If Heretics lose this, and it's starting to look like they will, then it is almost going to be a given. They will have a serious loss bonus, but they have no financial reserves. At the very best, maybe they could save a weapon or two when they decide, you know, if they do end up losing that third player. But WINSTRIKE, they're also playing this masterfully. Look at how they're rotating around. They're almost playing with it, and they've still got the time advantage now. They've got 50 seconds.
But where's the gamble rotate from the side of Heretics? You know you don't really have the weaponry to hold down both sides, so you might want to just go for the B-side stack or the A-side stack. If not, you'll go for a save and try to win the following round. Lucky now standing by, having some support from one. It gives you the first frag. Lucky also with a
Lucky?
double spray down. Grissom gets 1 in return. Equal numbers once more. And XMS with the AWP currently in heaven. Is there a smoke to hold it off? Yes, there is one on towards the Lion, yet he has to peek in to make it happen. There will be now the bomb soon to be planted, or at least they have to still cross towards the side. As XMS, he's still biding his time, takes down Grissom now. It's a 1v2 in the Lion. He goes down in the end. A 12th round for Heretics. And now we look at the money situation for WINSTRIKE. And most likely, they'll have to go for a pistol armor, hoping to win it in the next rounds to come.
It's not over till it's over. A 3v5 converted by Heretics. Lucky with the Hamas double kill. And then XMS coming in from heaven with the AWP. Not exactly his weapon of choice, but
It does the
anyway,
job.
it worked. It worked
does
out.
the job.
And if you're WINSTRIKE, this right here is pretty much your only chance at winning the gun round. Behind that, you'd have an eco round. We'd be looking at 14-14. So things are not done quite yet. If you were ready to leave, if we're already calling your friends to hang out, well, cancel your plans because we might have more Counter-Strike to come.
We'll have to see it in a moment here. Nickelback now going through the connected position under Heart even. Molly comes in. They wait. They delay. They have time. We're only in the very start of this round. In WINSTRIKE, it will be vital for them to actually get the 15th round in now. They will undoubtedly realize how they are 2 rounds away from winning the grand final of these Vi.GG Legends series. And there is such a massive prize pool up for grabs for them. The pressure must be on. And Heretics, the investment is also on with them. They've got those rifles, they've got that utility, they have everything going for them. Right now, though, WINSTRIKE has to show up.
The Lion is standing by, hoping that a player would go for a jump peek, trying to spot out some position, yet they weren't actually doing that. XMS standing at the very annoying close angle, which we so often see unchecked, and he was actually able to contest upon earlier on in towards this half. And with the smoke not dissipating, the bomb carrier is close. They have to check this. If they don't, they will lose. There will be a flash from Lucky coming in. XMS wants deep flash. That still is alive for some reason. Gets refragged in the end, but Nivera now takes down Nickelback. And that is the hole they might need on the Heretic side. This force buy coming in from WINSTRIKE not working out as Ivera peeks in on towards the line. It will be Lackey, however. He gets 2, and there's no actual flank coming down. Mecha on towards the side, gets 1. Bondik now in 1v1. Gets the bomb plan done. And there's actually a player coming from downstairs at Kiyoshima. He's making a lot of noise. Bondik is low. The nade comes in, deals damage, yet not enough. And will Kiyoshima be expecting this close angle? Well, now he will. It's Bondik not hitting the shot just yet.
Ammo.
Just yet, I'm saying, because he has 3 bullets and will go down to Kiyoshima in the end in 1v1. I believe that if Bondik played it more passively, Kiyoshima might have not actually checked that corner. Now looking for that AWP of Nivera, only to be disappointed. And of course he has a defuse kit, so no worries. It will be 14-13.
Oh Lord, that's just that engagement at the end there. Absolute insanity. HERETICS get their 13th round in. And it is becoming so undeniably close. And, you know, once again to highlight how it went in the beginning. HERETICS getting such a decisive 9-0. But all that is gone now. It's so close. And really, I wonder where these last few rounds are going to go. I honestly don't feel like I can predict it.
Ooh, I was going to ask the question if WINSTRIKE will play the all-in situation or go for the half buy. They actually decide to buy it all. They are completely all-in. We have MAC-10s, we have Deagles, we have 1 AK, and then a Galil onto Lackey, which has proven quite yet that he can play with the weapon. The double entries he found last round were absolutely impressive. But the weapon scenario is definitely an advantage of HERETICS. If they were to win this round, the 14-14 would put them in a good position.
Most certainly, but we'll have to see if it does become that 14-14. If WINSTRIKE gets caught out in long once again, or if this time around, you know, Nivera's hold might be strong enough.
There's 3 players on towards that A side, one of which now rotating back towards B, and at that moment in time there will be the execute coming in. Nivera sending by the AWP. Will he be able to get the frags? He's checking, but he goes down to a 1. The Chris and XMS on towards the truck. Will get a spray down. He gets 1, but traded out by Bondik in the end. It is now a 4-on-3. The bomb will be planted. No flank coming in from HERETICS, and they're moving in. Lucky with a double kill from Mass once again working. As the French, of course, use French weapons, and now also Nickelback with only a MAC-10 going down to Lucky. A triple kill so far, and will he once more be instrumental? Well, it seems like it, as it's going to be 14-14, but a bomb plan for WINSTRIKE will make it due for them to be buying short up. But look at the money, they actually don't have enough. I expected their loss bonus to be higher.
The loss bonus is a bit disappointing for them, and you can see it now. I believe that was the, well, 2,400 then I assume they got, because now the loss bonus goes up after they lose the round.
Lucky might be at the bottom of the scoreline for HERETICS, but his last, I'd say, 5 or 6 kills have been so influential. The definition of impact frags, the 2 kills he found when they were having that 3v5 on the B-bomb side, and now this triple kill on the retake, that, my ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why, even if you're having a bad game, you can always step up at the very end and be the shining light for your team. Even if you cannot hit, for God's sake, anything during the 25 first rounds, you can always show up at the very end and have an impact. Lucky is saving the situation once more. And it all started with Krisen's 1 dig onto Nivera. What the hell was that?
Yeah, it's just a really solid shot, and you would think then, you know, when you saw that happen, this is the opening for WINSTRIKE. This is what they need. But in the end, in the chaos of the bomb site and Lucky's amazing, I believe it was a triple indeed, like you said, coming in there, they just showed up. You know, that proved that indeed, well, HERETICS, they still got it in them. They know that they have to fight for this now. And I mean, hey, at this point, we might even see an overtime coming in.
WINSTRIKE is actually playing for overtime. They're semi-buying in towards this round, saying, well, we'll just give us a little bit of a chance. And I would dare to say now they would go rather aggressive, possibly an underpass towards B water rush, or just go for B all out. Because you need to get close and personal with those Tech 9s. And lock on towards the line, as he doesn't really have the financial backup that the rest of his team has, but then he force buys in towards a Deagle. It's an interesting buy because, as we just highlighted, their economy, not too great. Of course, they will have more money in towards the next, but they really need to get a bomb plant. If they do lose this round, they actually have a proper buy for themselves. And they will go for that B execute. Not a rush, but look at the utility they have. 3 flashes and 1 molly. Possibly 2 thrown out towards barrels, but there's actually already a smoke there. As we do see now Mecha throwing in the molly as well. Kiyoshima gets 1 frag. It's lucky for the follow-up as well as the Tech Knights are coming in. But Kiyoshima, once again, staying alive, going down to Nickelback. But then only a line is alive. A Tech 9, low HP. And He's trying to move around. He's trying to fall back. Well, he does have the bomb, yet there's always that AWP from Nivera. There's always that M4 of XMS, and one bullet will do the trick from either of those weapons.
Yeah, but I also think Nickelback right now, now you see the kind of CT advantage of Overpass here coming in. They can rotate very quickly. Even by the time I think Nickelback actually gets his feet onto that bomb site and he commits to that plant, there will almost instantly be a player right there with him to kind of tell him, what are you doing over there, buddy? What's your plan here?
They still have a nade as well. They have
4
4 flashes and 1 smoke to work with. But look at this. Heretics is now pushing in towards Monster, trying to get the intel. And Nickelback, of course, having to check every angle, will not know this. It's going to be him slowing things down, yet he could go for the plant right now. And he now knows. He's going for the plant, planting for Bank and Dumpster. Waiting, as of course Heretics now has to move together. And you see at the moment the bomb will be planted, they're turning around and they're going through the stairs position. It's going to be Nickelback playing on towards the truck, and with the bomb plant he has, this will most likely not be expected by the Heretics members. Yet their nade, it might just come in perfectly. First player on towards Dumpster. It's going to be Nickelback having the first frag on towards Nivera. Has to also take down XMS as well.
No way!
Oh my god, he makes it work!
Nickelback! Oh, you absolute madman with a Tech 9. That must be the incredible tilt as well on the Heretic side.
Whew.
They have to be just mad now. If you saw this, you knew, oh, we've got an AK, we've got an M4, and one, and a 1, 2, 3.
The crosser placement is so absolutely pristine. What a time to clutch for Nickelback, putting his team 1 round away on championship point.
Championship point, just the grand, everything is up for grabs here, and WINSTRIKE will now actually get a decent buy-in. If they get the good opening frag, perhaps the 2, then they will actually see the chance. They will actually see it happen.
There is such a good chance as well. The AWP on towards the Lion AKs to back it up with loads of utility. As on the Heretic side, we don't even see a single defuse kit, so that might just be another factor to come in. We know that Heretics will be playing for, well, map control, and they actually get it. Maka pushing through with one of those 2 M4s they have. There was a player holding it down, Chris, and he's doubting still. But he's now moving together with his team. And once more, Heretics is able to stack up because they know for certain WINSTRIKE will be coming towards A, and this should be the read. This should be overtime, theoretically. There will be a flashbang, at least another peek to come in, and they now know that a line with the AWP will also be towards long. The utility has to fly in quite soon from the WINSTRIKE members, because otherwise they'll just be out of luck. 4 players standing by, one very late in towards these stairs, might be able to hold down the flank holder on the WINSTRIKE party. The Crimson takes out Maka, has a very good start. They will go for more. Lucky takes an XMS. In Toilets, it will be Lucky going down after 1 fragment, and Vera moves in with the scout to get 1 in return. A 3-on-2 Alliance takes down Vera, only Kyoshima alive, 16-14. And WINSTRIKE, they make it work in a 3-0 shutout.
It's WINSTRIKE who win the round. They are the champions of the Vi.GG Legends Series. Extremely well done by them. The 3-0 by them. And WINSTRIKE, they just did it. They did it, and they deserve the win.
Well, they are incredibly very strong. And of course, we only have to say one thing, and that is WINSTRIKE are your champions. They have won it with a 3-0 shutout. And here you see the confetti, of course, well deserved in the group stage. In Group A, they lost 2 times against Heretics, and it was all to play for. This time, they were able to bring it back in a best of 5. They win 3.